Forgiveness offers everything I want. Forgiveness offers everything you want. What's good, fam? We made it to lesson 122 of A Course in Miracles, and today we are going to be expanding on the idea of forgiveness and how it is what is going to offer us what we want. And what we want is not something out there that is just an effect, but me and you are the cause. And what we really want is happiness. We want joy. We want love. We want peace. We want abundance. We want a whole host of good feeling emotions that we feel like we're lacking in any situation whenever we're not experiencing them. And they are there all the time here in this instant. They are always present. They are never absent. But whenever we're not experiencing this present moment, it must mean that our mind is preoccupied with something other than what's happening right now. Therefore, the past. And our minds are just looping this irrelevant thought, this irrelevant illusion. Something's going on in this powerful tool of ours that for the most part we are unaware of, that is blocking us from perceiving what we want here and now. And the only way and the best way for us to remove that block in the moment and regain our perception of the love that is always here is through forgiveness. It may not appear like there's something major that needs to be forgiven. You may just be not in your right mind and you don't understand why, but forgiveness of whatever is blocking you from experiencing the love and light that is here now is what is at the core of what is going to release that energy that is blocking you from being in this moment, that is blocking me from being in this state of mind that we are currently in now. We're going to break this down a little more, but let's go ahead and open up the page. If you don't got the book yet, PDF is in the description, and let's go ahead and begin. Lesson 122. Forgiveness offers everything I want. What could you want forgiveness cannot give? Do you want peace? Forgiveness offers it. Do you want happiness? A quiet mind, a certainty of purpose, and a sense of worth and beauty that transcends the world? Do you want care and safety and the warmth of sure protection always? Do you want a quietness that cannot be disturbed, a gentleness that never can be hurt, a deep abiding comfort, and a rest so perfect it can never be upset? All this forgiveness offers you and more. So right off the bat, before we continue, everything that was just mentioned, the peace of mind, the love, the joy, the happiness, that quietness of mind, that still mind, this is what the entire world is looking for. And they're looking for it somewhere where they're never going to find it, ever. And it's out there. And I say the world, but that includes me and you whenever we fall asleep and we are in that world that we think is so real. Whenever we're not in our right mind like we are right now, we are looking for our right mind, which is the peace and the joy and the happiness. We are looking for our right mind, but we're looking for it out there in material possessions. We're looking at it in situations. We're looking for it in people. We're looking for it in money. We're looking for it in all the wrong places, because out there is the world of effects, which is mirroring your internal world. Now remember, because me and you are cause and everything out there is effect, meaning it is neutral, it does not mean anything. This highlighter, lesson 1, does not mean anything. Lesson 2, I have given this highlighter all the meaning that it has for me. Lesson 3, I do not understand this highlighter, and so on and so forth. And remember that this highlighter is just as much made out of the same substance as that human body over there. This highlighter is the same nothingness as that car. This highlighter, although it may appear small and irrelevant and unimportant compared to a vehicle or money or a body, they are all the same thing, because they are outside of us, and everything we see outside of us with these physical eyes does not mean anything. Me and you have ascribed the meaning that it has. And right now, what me and you are learning is that whenever we're looking for happiness outside of us, we're not going to find it, because the only place that we could find it is by removing all of our perceptions that is blocking us from perceiving it, because these emotions are in fact who we are. Whenever we are happy, we are being who we really are. We do not have to look for something that we already are. We just have to remove any perceptions that are blocking us from perceiving that here and now in every single given moment. So let's continue, but we have to remember that whenever we are not feeling this way, forgiveness is required to whatever degree you are not being who God created. Remember, there is who God created, which is you when you are in this state of mind, when you are at your best, when you are fulfilled, whenever you need nothing, you are in remembrance of your perfection, you are being love and light here and now. And then there's this other little self that we believe that we are from time to time. We made this little self. We call it the ego here in these conversations we have. This little mind that believes it's separate from everyone and everything. It believes that it's lacking something at any given moment in time and it needs something outside of itself in order to be fulfilled. This little self that feels insecure, this little self that is afraid of death and afraid of anything, period. This little self that is nothing but a belief that me and you believe in, and although it is nothing because we and you believe in it, that's just as powerful as it actually being something, which it is not, but our belief makes it so. And it is important that me and you together in our right minds, together here now, see that and we look at it for what it really is. Look directly at the illusion. Look directly at all of the things that make you afraid, that you are fearful of, that you do not want to look at right now while me and you are together in our power, because we're more powerful together than when we are separate, is the best time for us to be thinking about those illusions that we have from time to time that make us feel unworthy or not enough, or we feel like we're lacking something out there in the world. Because when we look at it together from this powerful state of mind, we can transmute that energy and blow out that energy. We can discharge all that negatively charged up energy, because now we understand that me and you are the ones who have given that situation and event and person that is causing us all this upset, all the meaning that it has for us. And today we're learning that the only way to do that is through forgiveness, by forgiving anyone involved, including ourselves, and forgiving ourselves for even deviating as far as we have from who we really are. Just as something as simple as that. If you don't know who to forgive, forgive yourself for deviating from the trueness of who you really are, and you will be surprised at the results you get whenever you exercise that forgiveness. You will be restored to your right state of mind. All this forgiveness offers us and more. It sparkles on our eyes as we awake and gives us joy with which to meet the day. It soothes your forehead while you sleep and rests upon your eyelids, so you see no dreams of fear and evil, malice and attack. And when you wake again, it offers you another day of happiness and peace. All this forgiveness offers you and more. Now, before we continue, I'm sure that by now, after 122 days, me and you understand who we really are, and we are aware whenever we are being who we really are, or whenever we've deviated from that to any degree. And me and you are here remembering that we can feel outrageously joyous 24/7, all the time, all day, every day. We could be in this beautiful, enlightened state without anything throwing us off course. And that's, although may seem a little Pollyanna to some people, that just shows you their perspective of how much they've deviated from who they really are, because what we're experiencing right now is natural. This is how and what we intended to be in before we stepped in these bodies. We intended to feel like this all the time. Me and you can feel like this all the time, and actually it is unnatural when we're out of this state of mind, because this state of mind, this feeling that we're feeling right now, is who we really are, which means that whenever we're not feeling this way is a great indicator to let us know we have some forgiving to do in order to return to who we really are. So although there's some individuals that may think that this is a little unrealistic, you have to be so cautious with who you take advice from, especially if this information that we're discussing right now is not embedded in your mind yet, because although we have been hearing this information for past few months, and it sounds really good and we know it to be true from time to time, it still is not something that is anchored in our awareness. Therefore, if anybody out there that we are having a conversation with says something that opposes truth, we are going most likely to let that affect us, and we're going to see from their perspective, because we've been seeing from the perspective of fear our whole entire life, which means that whenever we hear someone speak of fear and they say this is unrealistic, a little part of us is going to doubt the work that we're doing right now, because now we're heading in two directions. Me and you here today are going in the direction of truth, of where we want to be, where we know we are who we are, and then because we're not anchored here just yet, whenever we are out and about and me and you go our separate ways and we're doing whatever it is that we're doing throughout the day, and there's something out there that somebody says, or we just observe, or somebody implies without words that what we're doing, what you're doing here with this knowledge is just not so, it is going to get us a little doubtful, like, am I on the right path? That could happen in the early stages, which is why it's very important to be aware of who you are having conversations with, and be aware whenever you're not in this state of mind, something is completely wrong, and that individual who is also not in this state of mind cannot lead you to the state of mind, because someone in the illusion cannot take you out of the illusion. You're just going to be going in circles on the same station. But because me and you here together are out of the illusion, we are in the real world, awake and aware of what lies beneath us. Now we can see from a bird's eye view right now, while we're in our right mind, what's really going on in our daily lives that causes to throw us off balance. So that way, whenever we actually do fall back asleep and we are back in the world of illusion, if you will, then we can remember what we're discussing right now, and we can pinpoint that situation that keeps getting us triggered. And in that moment, whenever that energy is active, we forgive it and transmute that energy, because you have to have that energy active in order to blow it out of your field. Although me and you are here together right now and we can do it together, whenever we actually experience that fear that we go through, or that not enoughness, or that insecurity that we are going through in the moment, while me and you are not here, whenever we're in our separate individual lives, it may appear, and that situation that keeps coming up with different people, different faces, different places, that triggers you, in that moment you must be aware of what we're discussing right now and transmute it by forgiving anyone and anything involved, forgiving yourself, and making sure that you truly forgive genuinely, so whenever something like that does occur again, it has no more emotional charge for you. Therefore, it can't knock you out of balance, out of your rightful state of mind, which is here and now. So you have to be very deliberate of your thought process all the time. Most importantly, better said, be more aware of how you feel, because how you feel is your indicator, letting you know what just threw me off balance. That thing that just threw me off balance out there in the world doesn't mean anything. It's neutral. How can something neutral cause me to fall back asleep or to get me angered? That must mean that neutral device, that neutral situation out there, I must have given it all the meaning that it has for me, and that must mean that I have gave it the meaning of worry, doubt, or fear, or any form that fear may take, because it just caused me to go in that direction. If I were to see this thing as it really is, which is neutral, then it would be causeless right now, because the situation out there that just threw me off balance and caused me to fall back asleep, that must mean that it has power over me. And in truth, it really doesn't. But because I have given beliefs, because I have beliefs underlying right now that I may not be aware of right now that are active, that belief is, I believe there is something outside of myself that has power over me. And there is really nothing outside of me and you that has power over us, but our belief that something can have power over us is is just as real as if it really did have power over us, because me and you are the most powerful beings ever. Me and you have so much power that we're unaware of right now, and we have been allowing it to leak out in directions that we would not prefer to go if we were actually deliberate and aware of where we are flowing our energy. But because me and you here together are aware of what we're discussing right now, we can be more aware throughout our daily lives whenever we do go our separate ways of what am I giving attention to? What have I given this situation that appears bad? What have I given the meaning? I have given it all its meaning. I don't know if this is a bad situation or a good situation. This situation of me getting a flat tire could be the best thing ever, because it actually prohibited me from going where I was gonna go. And if I were to have been in that area at that time, something even worse could have happened, which is why this happened for a reason. Now I am going to experience this situation as if I was watching it from a movie. I'm going to see what happens next. This is going to be a wonderful time. It's going to be a great time. I may make a new friend. I may meet someone new, and we are going to begin something great together, whatever the case may be. And I know that it's hard to reach this state of mind whenever something like that is occurring, but just know that it is possible, and we have to and we must maintain this state even whenever something as adversely as that may occur. Whenever something like that may occur, we can still maintain this state of mind. So let's go ahead and continue. We have to understand, though, that me and you are more powerful than we think, and that cannot be said enough, because at this moment in time, we are not aware of that. And although we are in this moment aware of it, whenever we go our separate ways and we go out about our day, if we were really aware, we would see how unaware we really go throughout our days. Just pay attention to that, and you'll be like, dang, I'm not aware of why I'm even doing this thing that I'm doing, why I'm walking, talking, acting, thinking, speaking, and feeling like the way I am. I'm in control of all those things, but I am certainly not doing what I'm doing right now deliberately. I must gain some conscious awareness so that way I can begin to exercise more of my power instead of letting the world take my power. Forgiveness lets the veil be lifted up that hides the face of Christ from those who look with unforgiving eyes upon the world. It lets you recognize the Son of God and clears your memory of all dead thoughts, so that remembrance of your Father can arise across the threshold of your mind. What would you want forgiveness cannot give? What gifts but these are worthy to be sought? What fancied value, trivial effect, or transient promise never to be kept can hold more hope than what forgiveness brings? Why would you seek an answer other than the answer that will answer everything? Here's the perfect answer given to imperfect questions, meaningless requests, half-hearted willingness to hear, and less than halfway diligence and partial trust. Here is the answer. Seek it no more. Seek for it no more. You will not find another one instead. Forgiveness is the answer whenever we are not here. Not here. I'm not talking about what we see with our physical eyes. I'm talking about this state of mind that we're in right now. Whenever we're not here, then that must mean that we have some things to forgive, no matter how subtle it may be or how large it may be, and no matter how much we really don't care about that person that we know we need to forgive, or how much we don't want to forgive this situation or this person because we know we're right. Now remember, this is not saying that what that individual that may have done something bad to you is in the right. They may completely be 100% wrong for doing whatever it is that they did to you, that, and you do feel justified that you are not going to forgive them. However, do you want to be right, or do you want to be in your right mind? It's a difference. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right, or do you want to be outrageously joyous, because you can't be both. Because as long as we're holding on to seeing our brother over there who has done us wrong, we are not able to see them for who they truly are, which is who you truly are. Therefore, you can't be who you truly are whenever you're not aware of it in somebody else. Me and you are one, and everyone else is one with me and you. We are no different. Me and you are no special just because we know what we know right now. We are all special, therefore none of us are special. The way the Course says it is, we are all equivalent. We are all equivalent counterparts of the one. Therefore, that individual is as much love and light as you are. And if we can't see that, we can't see it in ourselves, and therefore we are blocking ourselves from experiencing this. So whenever you forgive that individual, no matter how much you don't want to, and you genuinely forgive them, it's not denying what they did. It's just letting you free from keeping that situation replaying on your mind over and over again. You're releasing yourself from that situation. And of course, again, what they did, maybe they shouldn't have done in this world anyways, but who cares? I'm going to move on with my life and free myself from the shackles that I placed on myself, because that individual over there wouldn't have done what they did if they were in the right mind, meaning they are just as imprisoned as me. And I am going to release myself from those prison bars now, because I am capable of doing so, and so are they. But their journey is their journey, and my journey is my journey. And I desire to feel good and be in my right mind more than proving this person wrong. This is where I want to be. God's plan for your salvation cannot change, nor can it fail. Be thankful it remains exactly as He planned it. Changelessly, it stands before you like an open door, with warmth and welcome calling from beyond the doorway, bidding you to enter in and make yourself at home, where you belong. Here is the answer. Would you stand outside while all of heaven awaits for you within? That's what we're doing whenever we're not forgiving this individual, or we're not forgiving this situation or ourselves. And remember, keep in mind, anytime we are not in this state of mind that we're in right now, forgiveness is necessary. And we may not know what to forgive at that moment in time, because it may be very subtle. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. For example, if you're experiencing a day where you're going throughout your day and it doesn't appear like you're mad at nobody, but it just feels like a meaningless day, or it feels like you're irritated but you don't even know why you're irritated, or you're upset and you don't even know why you're upset. It's something that's occurring right there that appears very subtle, and it's just kind of blocking you from experiencing the joy that we're experiencing now. No matter how subtle it is, you must search your mind and find the cause of what is causing you to feel that way. And it's always us, because we are the cause. But me and you have given that power to something else that we have to identify and forgive. And if we can't find it, you could simply say something along the lines of, you know what, I forgive myself from deviating as far as I have from who I really am. I forgive myself, and I am sorry, and I desire to be in my right mind, and I forgive whatever it is that I may have done with this powerful tool of mine unknowingly. I will be more aware next time. I will be more deliberate with my thoughts, because I am choosing right now to be more deliberate and decisive about the thoughts that I think. I am willing to regain my sense of control, because I know that it's here, and flow my attention towards things that delight me and make me feel good and remind me of the goodness that I am. I forgive me from deviating as far as I have from who I really am. Now, just something as simple as that will put you back in your right mind, and maybe not instantly, but it will definitely lead you in the direction. Me and you don't need to be here instantly, but as long as we get some relief from where we previously were, that's all that matters. If you move from a state of depression up to anger, although you're not in this state of mind, it's okay, because anger is a little bit better feeling than where you previously were, which is depression. Therefore, you gained some relief and you moved up the emotional guidance scale, so to speak. Now, from anger, you could go to irritation, because from anger to irritation is a much easier jump than from anger to outrageous joy. I'm sure that it is apparent that irritation would be the next logical step. Now, go ahead and talk yourself into feeling irritation. And then you have improved your emotion and you went up the scale. And then from irritation, go to boredom. And then boredom, go to hope. And then from hope, go to happiness. And then from happiness, go to outrageous joy, because from there would be somewhere easier to get. You could get to the state of mind from happiness, and it would be a much easier jump to make than from anger. So I hope that analogy made sense, but let's just understand that we are the ones in control of how we feel, and how we feel is what is determining how we are going to react, and therefore how we react is going to determine what happens out there in the world of effect, meaning me and you are at 100% cause over everything in our world on levels that we may not even be aware of as of yet. But just know that if something happens to you and you feel like it shouldn't have, and it was not your fault, you just gave some of your power away. Even a situation where you're at a red light and somebody runs up behind you and hits you and you did nothing, you're just at the red light, you were involved in that situation, which means that you co-created that experience on a level you may not be aware of. But if you were to say, I didn't create that, that person ran into me, I have no what doing whatsoever in this experience that I just experienced. Yes, you do. But because we're not aware that we do, then we're giving all the power to something outside of us. Therefore, in that experience, we're powerless. We are powerless. Me and you want to be at full reign over everything that's happening in our world, in our universe, from our perspective. And we are, but the moment we give anything outside of us any power over us, even something as major as the analogy that we just used that appeared like, how could I have created this? Remember, me and you don't experience things for no reason. Nothing here is random, and that is the understanding that we're going to work more towards as we move on in our lessons. But we just have to understand that, first of all, everything out there is just a world of effect, which means nothing. Therefore, the situation that just occurred that got you triggered is letting you know that there's something that you have to work on. There is something, because remember, it's not so much about what's happening outside of us, but it is more about how we feel about what's happening outside of us. So this is a lot of power that me and you have to learn how to deliberately exercise and control. And there's some individuals that are fearful of this power, that don't believe that they can be trusted with this amount of power. Therefore, they are going to not go as far as me and you have came, because on a level deep beneath their awareness, they don't believe that they are worthy of this power. Therefore, they're going to stay asleep where they believe they're powerless, because that's where they believe that they belong. But as we continue to move forward, me and you have to understand that we are regaining the power that is ours, and this is what we want. And we want to learn how to deliberately think and use this powerful tool of ours, so that way we can know how to exert this energy that me and you are exerting all the time, how to deliberately propel forth this energy that we are with this powerful tool of ours, our mind. Now, we can't be afraid of this power. I'm sure that you're not, but any moment in time, the idea that you are 100% doing it all to yourself at any time, that may seem a little unrealistic, or it may seem like something you do not want to accept for whatever reason, that is going to hinder our ability to move forward together. Because as we move forward, we are going to understand that the most powerful creator ever, which is our Father, if you will, which is our source, which is God, has created us in the likeness and image. Therefore, me and you have that same ability. The only difference the Course says between us and God is that God created us and we did not create him, but we do create like him, meaning that power is there, present right now. And again, I do want to say, although I just said it, I just feel like it's worth repeating. We must accept full responsibility over everything that occurs in our world 100%, because if we don't accept even 0.99%, if we don't accept full responsibility, if there's a little portion of ourselves that believe that something outside of us is capable of inserting itself into our experience, then it's going to again hinder me and you from moving forward, because me and you are on the path of remembering who we really are, and who we really are is the power that we are discussing right now. And we can't know who we really are if we are going to deny a part of ourselves, which is that power. Now, although we can deny truth and the truth of who we really are, that does not change it. It just blocks us from being the full recipients of all the good that could flow our way, and it blocks us from being the full creators that we could be. Meaning, again, as we move forth, even if we don't believe that fully right now, trust me, we are going to get to the point where we do. But just keep that in mind, that me and you are more powerful than we may know. And as we move forward, we are going to remember that, if we don't already remember it right now. As you give, you will receive. There is no plan but this for the salvation of the Son of God, which is me and you. Let us today rejoice that this is so. For here we have an answer, clear and plain, beyond deceit, in its simplicity. All the complexities the world has spun of fragile cobwebs disappear before the power and the majesty of this extremely simple statement of truth. Here is the answer. Do not turn away in aimless wandering again. Accept salvation now. It is the gift of God and not the world. The world can give no gifts of any value to a mind that has received what God has given as its own. God wills salvation be received today, and that the intricacies of your dreams no longer hide their nothingness from you. Open your eyes today and look upon a happy world of safety and of peace. Forgiveness is the means by which it comes to take the place of hell. In quietness, it rises up to greet your open eyes and fill your heart with deep tranquility as ancient truths forever newly born arise in your awareness. What you will remember then can never be described, yet your forgiveness offers it to you. Remembering the gifts forgiveness gives, we undertake our practicing today with hope and faith that this will be the day salvation will be ours. Earnestly and gladly will we seek for it today, aware we hold the key within our hands, accepting heaven's answer to the hell we made, but where we would remain no more. Me and you, at any point in time we fall asleep, do not have to remain there. We can be awake in our power like we are right now. This is where all of our youth is, our vitality is. This is where all our awareness is. This is where all the love is. This is where everything we want is. And this is what we can consider heaven. Now, whenever we are experiencing anything less than this, whenever we are experiencing any form of fear that fear may take, any upset, irritation, doubt, I'm sure by now you know the whole list of them already, but anytime we're experiencing that, we can consider that hell, and that is where we would remain no more. The only way to get out of that is through forgiveness. That is one of the best ways, and any other way that you may take that is not forgiveness, but it gets you out here, it really is forgiveness. Meaning there is no other way but forgiveness, regardless of what we would like to call that way that gets us from hell to heaven, that gets us from that fearful state of mind to this loving state of mind. Whatever someone may call that process that they did mentally that got them from fear back into this right state of mind. Whatever they want to call that, at the end of the day, forgiveness is what it is. Although it may take a different form for different individuals and other people may call it different words, forgiveness is what it is. This is what we want, and this is where we will remain forevermore. Morning and evening, do we gladly give a quarter of an hour to the search in which the end of hell is guaranteed. So morning and evening, we are going to give a quarter of an hour, so a good 15 minutes. And we are going to do this happily, knowing that the more we practice what we're discussing right now, the easier it will be for us to remain here forevermore. Begin in hopefulness, for we have reached the turning point at which the road becomes far easier. And now the way is short that yet we travel. We are close indeed to the appointed ending of the dream. Sink into happiness as you begin these practice periods, for they hold out the sure rewards of questions answered and what your acceptance of the answer brings. Today, it will be given you to feel the peace forgiveness offers and the joy the lifting of the veil holds out to you. Before the light you will receive today, the world will fade until it disappears, and you will see another world arise you have no words to picture. Now we walk directly into light, and we receive the gifts that have been held in store for us since time began, kept waiting for today. Right now, in this present moment, is the time, and the only time there is for us to accept our inheritance, which is the state of mind that I believe me and you are currently in right now. It is always here in this moment for us to accept every now. Remember, now is the only time there is. This instant is the only time there is. And what appears to be the future is constantly being created right now. And anytime we fall asleep, that sleeping mind of ours, that ego, if you will, is going to perpetuate further and further and further until we decide to regain our control and return to where we belong, which is right here and right now. Before the light you will receive today, the world will fade until it disappears. Yep. Forgiveness offers everything you want. Yes, it does. Today, all things we want are given to us. How powerful is that? Let not our gifts recede throughout the day as we return again to meet a world of shifting change and bleak appearances. Retain your gifts in clear awareness as you see the changeless in the heart of change, the light of truth behind appearances. Be tempted not to let your gifts slip by and drift into forgetfulness, but hold them firmly in your mind by your attempts to think of them at least a minute as each quarter of an hour passes by. Remind yourself how precious are these gifts with this reminder, which has power to hold your gifts in your awareness through the day. Forgiveness offers everything I want. Today, I have accepted this as true. Today, I have received the gifts of God. Again, forgiveness offers everything you want. Today, you have accepted this as true, and today, you have received the gifts of God. Now, this was a very powerful lesson. We discussed some topics that this lesson did not mention, and that was a great seed to be planted that is going to continuously grow and bloom and blossom and just become this powerful tree that cannot escape our minds. And that tree that we planted today was the power that me and you actually do have. And again, I have to mention that this power that me and you have cannot be obliterated. Now, what that means is we are 24/7 all day, every day exercising this power. So again, although we could deny this power and blame outside conditions for our situations that we wouldn't prefer, and we can blame anything out there, that's still us using our power, because in order to give something that belief requires power. Now, what me and you are remembering today is that we are accepting full responsibility, and whenever we're not in this place of being the creators that we really are, forgiveness is necessary. And once we forgive, we will return to the state where forgiveness is no longer something that is needed, because we have not condemned anything. We are free right now in this moment. I have not judged anyone. You have not judged anyone. We are viewing life from a new perspective. Me and you are pure in this moment, and we have not projected our belief systems out there on the world, causing us to fall asleep, meaning forgiveness is no longer needed right now, because we have not condemned the world. Now, whenever we do, we will fall back asleep, and whenever we do fall asleep, we will use the powerful tool of forgiveness to reawaken to this powerful moment, this beautiful moment, this loving moment, and the power that me and you hold. So let's keep this on our mind as the practice period state, and until tomorrow, we will meet again here, same time, same place, for lesson 123 of A Course in Miracles.